Hello friends, today we are going to discuss another solid state device, that is tunnel diode, which is largely used at microwave frequencies. So in today's lecture we are going to cover the basic concepts related to the tunnel diode, such as the tunneling effect, operation of tunnel diode under zero bias condition, forward bias condition and reverse bias conditions also. Along with this, we are also going to see how this tunnel diode is going to act as an oscillator. In the last portion of our lecture, we are going to see the performance characteristics, application and the various advantages related to the tunnel diode. So this tunnel diode is a specially made PN junction device which exhibit negative resistance over a part of the forward bias characteristics. It has extremely heavy doping on both sides of the junction and an abrupt transition from the P side to the N side. The tunneling effect is a majority carrier effect and is consequently very fast. The tunnel diode is useful for oscillations or amplification purpose. Because of the thin junction and short transit time, it is also useful for microwave application in fast switching circuits. So to start with, we have taken two different samples of p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor, and these two are very heavily doped. This p is doped heavily with p-type dopant and this sample is heavily doped with n-type dopant. We also assume that both these samples are of same material doped with different kinds of dopant, so the energy gap will be same for both the cases. Now here we can see in this energy gap diagram, this is EC, which is bottom of the conduction band for this, and this EV is the top of the valence band. Also, this P sample is doped heavily with acceptor impurity or P impurity. So the Fermi level, this EF, when this is degenerated, is below the top of the valence band. Here we are having the valence band and this is the Fermi level. Also in N sample, as it is also very heavily doped with donor impurity, the Fermi level in this case will be above the bottom of the conduction band, which we can see here. This is the energy gap between conduction and the valence band. So this is the band diagram for these two semiconductor material. P plus N plus here indicates that these are doped heavily. Now this is the symbol of a tunnel diode. This is the P side and this is the N side. If we see this, the difference lies in the shape of this N side if we compare this with the ordinary PN diode. Now this is also sometimes called Esaki diode because this was discovered by the scientist Esaki, and after his name this diode, tunnel diode, is also called as Esaki diode. Now in this figure we can see what will happen if we join or combine the heavily doped p-type material and heavily doped n-type material. Now when we combine these two and have a open circuit diode, we have Fermi level constant throughout. We can see here, this is the Fermi level shown in red color here. This Fermi level is constant throughout the tunnel diode because current flowing through open circuit diode is 0, and that happens when this Fermi level is constant throughout the material, and we also assume that it is uniformly doped. Now when we see the energy gap diagram of a tunnel diode, it look like this. Here this and this shows the depletion width, or we can also say the transition region, which is very thin. Its value is in few Armstrong. This depletion width is very narrow as both the material P and N both are heavily doped. So we can say in this PN tunnel diode, two important things are there. One is the heavily doped P and N type materials, and second thing is the very thin this transition region or the depletion region. Now these two will play an important role in functioning of a tunnel diode. Now let us see the operation of tunnel diode. Now we are going to see the operation when it is forward bias. Forward bias means this P side is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, and this N side of the tunnel diode is going to be connected to the negative terminal of the battery. Now initially we are going to consider if we apply 0 volt in forward bias voltage. Here we apply a 0 volt. Now this is the corresponding energy gap diagram for this tunnel diode at 0 bias. Now in this we can see this is the P plus side is the P side of the semiconductor, which is heavily doped. So we have written the P plus, and this side is the N type heavily doped semiconductor. This is EC, the bottom of this conduction band, and this EV is the top of the valence band, and this is corresponding for the N side. This is the EC conduction band for N type, and this is for the valence band for the N type. Now we can see here in this portion there are loads of conduction electron below this Fermi level. This red line EF, this is the Fermi level. So towards N plus side there are loads of electrons which are present below the Fermi level. On the other hand, we can see this, that above the Fermi level here we are having loads of empty space, which is shown here by blue color, unoccupied space in the valence band, or we can say the holes. So when we apply zero potential, this zero potential across the diode, there is a effectively no potential driving the current to flow through this. So current flowing through the diode will be 0, and the Fermi level will be constant. We can see here the Fermi level will be constant throughout the diode. From this side to this side it is uniform or the constant throughout the diode, because when the Fermi level is constant there will be not any current flow. So this we can see with the help of IV curve for the 0 volt as in forward bias voltage. Now for this 0 bias condition, we can see, if I say this is the voltage axis and this is the current axis, then at origin we will see a point. Now at 0 potential the corresponding current will also be 0. So this is the IV curve for a voltage that is 0. Now what will happen if we apply positive voltage? Now we can see at this energy diagram, this is for the when our forward bias is some positive voltage, means as we know this is the simple, so we are going to apply positive voltage at this P side and negative potential to the N side. Then how this is going to react, this energy diagram or the tunnel diode. Now we can see in this picture, before applying positive voltage V1, we have plenty of electrons available below the Fermi level towards N plus side and plenty of unoccupied space above the Fermi level towards the P plus side. Now what will happen when we apply the positive V1 voltage? This can be seen from this particular picture. Now we know that if negative potential is applied towards N plus side, then overall energy there will increase and the Fermi level rises. This is the Fermi level which rises compared to P plus side where we apply the positive potential. So this will rise, this Fermi level will rise from this point to this point when we apply the positive V1 voltage. So we can see here the Fermi level towards P plus side is slightly lower and the Fermi level towards N plus side is slightly at higher level as we compare it with the Fermi level of the P plus side, and there is a small difference between these two levels, and this is, we can see this is the difference level between two Fermi levels. N plus side is this EF, this level, and P plus side is having this Fermi level, and the difference between these two levels is shown here, and this difference is equal to the applied voltage, that is here in this case it is V1, so this is equal to the, this difference is equal to the V1 voltage. And now when we apply this positive voltage V1, then current is going to flow across in this tunnel diode. Now with the help of this energy diagram, we can see how the current is going to flow when we have applied V1 voltage in forward bias condition. Now here we can see this side is the P plus side and this is N plus side. Now here this N plus side is applied with negative potential and towards P plus side we are having positive potential. Now this is the available space which can be occupied by the electrons in P plus side, and these are the electrons which are available above the conduction band towards N plus side. Now in a simple diode, these electrons should surpass this barrier if some current is going to flow. But here we can see the tunneling effect which is going to conduct some amount of current in this diode without surpassing this level. So here let us see how this tunneling effect is going to happen. Now for tunneling process we need to have two things. One is the width, this depletion width should be very thin, and second, availability of energy states at the other side. So if we see here, in this particular figure, both conditions are there. We are having very thin depletion layer, and also we are having free available states towards P plus side. And also the overlap, this and this is the overlap. If I extend this here and extend this here, then there will be some overlap portion. So here we have also have overlap between two regions in some proportionality. So what happens in that case, that some amount of electrons from this n plus side find some available state towards p plus side. So these electrons go through the barrier, this barrier, instead of surpassing this, and this process, which can we see with the help of this arrow, the black arrow, this process is tunneling. So because of this, some current will flow. So we have seen that because of narrow width of this depletion layer and because of availability of energy state towards P plus side, we are having some overlapping between these two regions, and because of this there is some electron which will pass from this side to this side across this depletion layer, which is nothing but the tunneling effect. So now let us see what is the amount of current that is going to flow in this particular example. Now we can see in this IV diagram, when V1 voltage applied in forward bias condition, here this horizontal axis is the voltage axis and this is the current axis. So corresponding to V1 volt, we have seen that some current is flowing across the diode, and that magnitude of that current here we are assuming is I1. So corresponding to V1, we are getting I1 current. So now next we are going to see what will happen if we increase our voltage from V1 to V2 in the forward bias condition. Now this is the energy gap diagram when we have applied V2 voltage, and when condition is that this V2 voltage is higher as compared to the initially applied voltage V1. So we can see from this energy band diagram that this is the P plus side, again this is the N plus side, these are the corresponding conduction and the valence band of P side, these are the corresponding conduction and valence band for N plus side, and these are the Fermi levels. This is the Fermi level towards P plus side and this is the Fermi level towards N plus side. Now here, as we have assumed that we are having maximum overlap here, in this case at a particular voltage V2. So let's consider in this case overlap of electron state in N side equals other side whole state. The all electrons from this side flow towards other side, that is from N plus side to P plus side by tunneling process. So current I2 is going to flow. Also this I2 current is greater than I1 current. So this we can see from this IV curve here. This is V2 voltage which is greater than V1, and this is corresponding I2 current which is going to flow across this tunnel diode, and again this I2 is higher than the I1. Now in this energy diagram we are going to consider a case when we are applying V3 voltage and this V3 voltage is greater than the V2 voltage. Now in this energy diagram we can see the overlap decreases this overlap decreases as compared to overlap at V2 voltage, because in this particular case bands are relatively moving in opposite direction. This is moving towards this, Fermi level is moving toward this direction, and this Fermi level is moving in this direction. So because of this opposite direction movement of the energy levels, so we are going to see a drop off in overlap, and because of that less overlapping, we are going to see, although there is some current that is flowing across this tunnel diode, but the magnitude of that current I3 will be less than I2, although our applied voltage in this case is greater than V2. Now this can be understood by this IV curve. Here we have applied V3 voltage which is greater than the previously applied voltage V2, and corresponding to this voltage we can see we are getting I3 current which is flowing across this tunnel diode, and the magnitude of this I3 current is less than I2 current, because we have already seen that in this case at voltage V3 the overlapping is comparatively very less. Now let us consider another case when we applied V4 voltage in forward bias condition, in such a case that V4 is greater than V3. Now here this is tunnel diode and we are applying V4 as a forward bias voltage. Now in this case, from this energy band diagram we can see that at this V4 voltage there is very less overlapping. You can see here there is very less overlapping, so it looks like a simple diode now, and to conduct these electrons should surpass this gap here, just like in an ordinary diode. So if we further increase the voltage above V4, we will see this particular tunnel diode will simply behave just like a common diode, simple PN diode. So up till now we have seen the behavior of tunnel diode under different voltage condition. Initially we have seen the behavior of this tunnel diode at a voltage which is 0, and we have already seen that corresponding to 0 voltage we are getting a point at origin, means corresponding to 0 voltage we have seen the 0 conduction. Then we have applied V1 voltage, and corresponding to V1 voltage we are getting I1 current. Corresponding to V2 voltage we have seen, because we have already assumed that at V2 voltage we have the condition of maximum overlapping. So in this particular case we have seen already that I2 is the amount of current that is flowing across the tunnel diode when we have maximum overlapping. Then if we further increase our voltage to V3, then our current was decreasing because the energy levels, the Fermi levels were moving in opposite direction, and because of that there was very less overlapping. And when we further increase the voltage to V4, we have seen, because there are very less amount of overlapping, so there is very less amount of current that is going to flow, and that current we can say this is, suppose here this is the magnitude of current at V4, that will be I4. And if we further increase our voltage above V4, we can see this tunnel diode will behave just like an ordinary diode. So there are two main points here. One is this IV, the valley current. This valley current is corresponding current which is flowing across the tunnel diode, at a voltage V4. When we are having a voltage V4 and corresponding to this V2 voltage, because of maximum overlapping, we are having maximum current, and this current is termed as the peak current. So this is at point A, we are going to observe the peak current corresponding to voltage V2, and at this point B, we are going to observe the valley current IV corresponding to V4 voltage, and above this behave as a ordinary PN diode. So let us divide this curve into three different portions. One is from 0 to A, another is from A to B, and the third portion is above this B point. So in this first portion we see that the current is almost linear with respect to voltage, but in this portion from A to B, we see as we increase the voltage, our amount of current is going to decrease. And most important application of tunnel diode are based on negative resistivity or negative resistance of this tunnel diode, which it offers. From here we can see between point A and point this B. So at a voltage V, which is greater than equal to Vp and less than equal to Vb, in this portion current changing from higher value to the lower level. So maximum application of tunnel diode are going to use this portion of the curve. So we can say the tunnel diode can operate at higher frequencies, or we can say at gigahertz frequency, microwave frequency. So this is used as oscillator because it has negative resistivity or the resistance. Now let us consider the tunnel diode in reverse bias mode. Now this is the symbol of tunnel diode. Now here we are going to connect the negative potential towards P side and the positive potential towards the N side. Now again let us consider at zero bias state. So this is the energy gap diagram, and here again this is the conduction band, this is the valence band towards P side, and these are the available vacant space available. This is N plus side, these are corresponding conduction and the valence band, and this is the Fermi level, and these are the electrons available. Now at zero condition also we are going to see corresponding to zero, we are going to see the zero current at zero voltage. Now let us take the case when we are applying the negative potential to the tunnel diode. Let us assume that VR1 is the reverse voltage we are applying, so that this diode work in reverse bias condition. So these are the corresponding energy band diagram. This is the P plus side and this is the N plus side. Now as we have connected the negative potential to P side, so overall average electron energy will increase as compared to the N side. So we see in energy diagram quasi Fermi level will be at high level in P side. This is the Fermi level at P side, which is at higher level as compared to the Fermi level at N plus side. So towards P plus side there are minority electrons here below this Fermi level and vacant space available. Above the Fermi level towards N plus side. So below this Fermi level we are having minority electrons, and above this Fermi level we are having vacant space. So minority electrons from P plus side will tunnel across this depletion region and reach towards N plus side and occupy the available vacant space, and due to this the current is going to flow. Now this process or reverse bias we can see in this particular diagram. This is the reverse bias case. This is the V voltage, which is the reverse bias voltage, and this is the corresponding current which is flowing in reverse bias mode. Now here we can see the current increases almost in a linear fashion. So here in this case we have applied VR1 as a reverse bias voltage, and if we further increase reverse bias voltage, the current will increase in reverse direction and the difference between two Fermi levels will increase. So to summarize the behavior of tunnel diode in forward bias case and reverse bias case, we have drawn this figure. So this is the forward bias case. We can see in initial it is going to increase and the maximum value will be received at IP corresponding to this VP voltage, and above this VP if we further increase the voltage then we will see there is a decrease in the amount of current, and this is the IP will be the IV will be the valley current corresponding to VV valley voltage, and above this VV voltage the diode will act as a ordinary diode. And in reverse bias also we have seen that as we increase the reverse bias potential, our current is going to increase in a linear manner. Now let us consider how a tunnel diode is going to act as an oscillator. Now this circuit shows an equivalent circuit for a tunnel diode oscillator. Here the C2 is made larger than C1. Also the capacitive tapping is more suitable to inductive type because the inductive type produces superior modes of oscillation. Coupling of diode to the cavity or the resonator and coupling of the bias circuit are two practically important considerations. For high Q, the equivalent parallel resistance Rp is equal to 1 over omega square C2 square R1. Rp here decreases as C2 increases. When the negative resistance, as we can see here by the tuned circuit, is greater than the Rp, oscillations will stop. This is because the capacitive tapping acts as a transformer for the diode negative resistance. Further, the DC bias applied to the diode should not interfere with the tuned circuit as already mentioned. Since coupling with the help of circulator is quite extensive and complicated, a simple bias filter which avoids the circulator is often used. So this is how this tunnel diode is going to act as an oscillator. Now let us consider the performance characteristics and the application. Now for this particular tunnel diode, the power is almost 750 watt. We can have the frequency range up to 100 gigahertz. Tuning range equals to 1 to 4.3 gigahertz, and the stability factor 1 in 105 with X-band tunnel diode oscillator. Here X-band normally roughly 8 to 12 gigahertz, which we use in the instrument in laboratories. this tunnel diode is used for low power application. They are fast replacing the reflex klystron. Now these are some of the application areas of tunnel diode. First, as we have already explained, this can be utilized as a microwave oscillator. Second, in relaxation oscillator circuit, as an amplifier, as an ultra high speed switch, and as logic memory storage device. Now to conclude, let us also discuss some of the advantages of the tunnel diode. This is low noise, ease of operation is there. We can easily operate this tunnel diode, and also there is a very high speed of this tunnel diode as compared to other devices. So this can be utilized where fast switching is required. So friends, this is all about today's lecture of tunnel diode, in which we have studied the basic concepts, tunneling effects, operation of this tunnel diode under zero bias, forward bias and reverse bias states. We have also studied the tunnel diode as an oscillator, and in the last portion we have discussed the performance characteristics, the application and the advantages of the tunnel diode. So thanks for listening to my lecture. Have a very nice day.